If you want to win his heart, don't complain, don't criticize. Criticizing or complaining reflects discontentment. And Bible tells us in the book of Philippians chapter 2 from verse 14, it says, do everything without grumbling or arguing, so that you may become blameless and pure, children of God without fault, without blemish, in a warped and crooked generation. That's Philippians chapter 2 from verse 14 to 15. One thing with complaint is that, or criticism is that complaining often arises from dissatisfaction. However, it leads to strife and it can disrupt the unity that God desires for that your relationship. Now, instead, God calls us to handle our concerns with grace and without grumbling, without complaints, and without criticism. Beware. When complaining turns to nagging, it can lead to division. Bible says in Proverbs chapter 21, in verse 9, he said, better to live on a corner of the roof than to share a house with a quarrelsome wife. You see, have you noticed when you see a wife that complains too much and her complaints turns to nagging, the man begins to avoid you. The man prefers staying outside than coming into the house. Rather than complaining, rather than criticizing, do this instead. Number one, seek gratitude. Seek gratitude. Give thanks in all things. Bible says, for this is the will of God. In 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 18. Give thanks. Rather than complain or criticize in his area of weakness, look out for his area of strength. Shift that perspective by focusing on your husband's positive qualities and expressing gratitude for them. When you feel like complaining, check very well. Check very well. There are areas of his strength also. You can begin from there. Number two thing to do is cheer him up and encourage him to develop. Bible says, encourage one another just as you are doing. If it's, I think, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, verse 11, encourage one another. You can encourage him to grow and develop. Number three thing you can do is pray for him always. Bible says the prayer of a righteous person is powerful and effective. That's James chapter 5, verse 16. The effect of complaining and criticizing your husband in marriage. Number one effect, bear this in mind. Emotional distance. Like I said earlier on, complaining makes your husband feel unappreciated. It makes him feel constantly judged, thereby leading to emotional withdrawal. It makes him to stay away from you. He begins to avoid you, he begins to withdraw from you. Number two effect of this is lack of growth. Focusing on negative areas or qualities rather than providing solution or looking for solution can prevent progress in resolving issues. It doesn't help to resolve issues. Rather, it makes it to linger. Number three effect is that it brings harm to intimacy. Persistent complaint can damage the trust and closeness that's needed for strong marital bond. Don't forget this. Number one of the major things you can do for your man, if maybe he's not getting it right or better, is to pray for him. Do you know why you should pray for? The Bible says the effective prayer of a righteous man. Do you know why you need to pray for him? Because you are seeing his fault. That means to say you are the righteous person. Now, Bible says you're the prayer of the righteous person, which is you, that is seeing well what your husband is not seeing. Bible says your prayer avails much. Your prayer is powerful and effective. So what it simply means is that you can easily go to God and ask God for help. And instantly God will hear your prayer, because the prayer of you, that is the righteous one, is powerful and more effective. You know why women? I'm not blaming women, but the reason is their nature. Women tend to, women are, if you're a woman, be careful because you are prone to complain. You can easily complain. And if you're not careful, your complaints turn to nagging. The reason is simple. You see, women don't see the way men see. Women notices everything around them. I remember those days, my mom, when she goes out and then she comes back inside, the same house she left. By the time she comes back, you see, she notices everything. Every nook and cranny of the house, she notices changes. She notices everything. And she will talk about A, talk about B, talk about C, everything she will talk about them. The life of men are not like that. A man, even if there's a little corner you keep for him, once he will focus on that little corner and lie down and sleep, forget his life. But women will notice, first of all, before they lie down to sleep, they will notice everything around them. And they must talk about everything before. And their nature is to talk. You see, women think and talk. Whatsoever that runs in their mind, you see, a woman is happy, she must talk. A woman is sad, she must talk. So everything that they think, they must communicate. They must talk. That's the challenge Adam had with Eve. Eve was with him in the garden. He was not talking. He was not allowing the wife to talk. So Eve had to go and engage with the serpent to talk. Because anything that even during the temptation, Bible says the serpent, I don't believe appeared physically. It was in the mind. As she was thinking, she had to speak, she had to talk. So the thing has been boiling inside her, and Adam was not giving her the platform. So she had to go to the serpent and then engage in discussion. The mind, it started from the mind, and then her mind began to minister to her negative things that later brought about the fall of the man. What are we trying to say here? If you as a wife want to keep your man, please learn to control your mouth. Don't complain, rather compliment. Don't criticize, rather check, consider also his areas of strength. The Bible says that a man will prefer to go and stay in the corner of the roof than to stay with a nagging woman. And that's the nature of men. That's why, have you noticed that if you're a woman here, if you tell your man, any day you say to him, call him on phone and tell him there's something we'll discuss. Tell him there's something we'll talk about. He will avoid you. He will vanish into the thin air. Men will detest it. A man naturally doesn't want, if you want to talk, just start talking. But for the woman, for the women, they can sometimes they will tell you they have something to talk with you. And men don't like it that way. Because a man naturally wants to put off any issue of discussion. But the woman wants to bring it to the table now and talk about it right now at the moment. So what are we saying here? Minimize the way you complain about things. Rather, also try to complement his areas of strength. Don't criticize him. If you criticize a man, you see one thing, you think you are making things right or you're making things better. If you criticize the man, rather than a man naturally does not respond, he does not become better when you criticize him. Rather, he becomes worse when you criticize him. Why? Whenever you criticize a man, you show him his weakness. And the man naturally doesn't want to see his weakness. Once a man sees that he's weak, he will feel that, that he has failed. And once he feels that he has failed, he will keep failing. He will run away. He will shy away from that negative thing you pointed at. He will run away from it. From there, he will vanish. But when you praise him, you get the best out of him. I pray that God give you wisdom to keep your home in Jesus' name. Congratulations. Join us again. You will hear the other version, the opposite. Remember, we just talked about if you want to keep him, if you want to win his heart, don't complain, don't criticize. Watch out for the next video. If you want to win her heart also, I will tell you what to do in order to win your woman's heart. The Lord bless you. Congratulations. Peace.